What does it mean to really love? In English, we use the word in so many different ways. We say, I love chocolate, I love cats, I love my brother, I love my wife, all with different meanings. In the new language of the New Testament, in Greek, it has three different words for love. There's eros, from which we get our English word erotic, talking about romantic or sexual love. That's not used in the New Testament. There's philios, which talks about brotherly love, where we get our English word philanthropic. But then there's the word that's mostly used for God's love, which is agape. And in 1 John 3:16, the Bible says, this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. And that's what it's talking about as a real love. Not just a sentimental feeling, not just a warm heart, which it can be, and that's good, but actually about doing good to others even when it costs you. So love can be as hard as the nails driven into Jesus' hands and feet when he died in order to save us. What this means is that when someone says, I don't love you anymore, very often when you retranslate that, it's saying, well, I used to get pleasure out of you, I used to find your company good and fascinating, but now I don't anymore, and I don't love you anymore. Basically, that's selfishness. It's basically saying, I don't get what I used to get out of you, and so it's over. God's love, the love that the Bible's talking about, isn't like that. It's about doing good, even when it costs you. Jesus said, if you love only those who love you, so what? Even sinners do that. I tell you, love your enemies. Because the birds and the bees, cats, dogs, they all mate and have their young and look after them. That's instinct. If that's all we do, is that really spiritual? If it's just working on human instinct? But if you love your enemies, then you know that's got to be supernatural. So Jesus is pointing us towards God's supernatural love that goes beyond anything that human nature or human instinct could ever show. People ask, what's the difference between getting married and living together? I was talking about this once on the way to an airport with a taxi driver. It's a good time to talk to a taxi driver because they can't get away and they're usually very friendly. And he was saying, well, I live with my girlfriend. What's the difference? Why should we get married? So I said to him, okay, what happens if your girlfriend has an accident and she's going to be in the wheelchair for the rest of her life? Would you stay with her? He went very quiet. He kept driving for a bit. And suddenly he said, you know what? I wouldn't say this to her, but no, I wouldn't. I said, that's the difference between just living together and marriage, because marriage is a solemn vow and promise to stay together for richer, for poorer, in sickness, in health, till death do us part. That's the kind of love that God has for us as his people. The Bible says that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. While we were his enemies, while we didn't care about God, he gave up everything in order to love us. That's what it means to really love.